Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incognito Realms. And today I want to talk about Blue Beetle. It's been a while since I talked about films. It's been a hard thing to want to talk about for a while because, for one, it's not in my position to really say what's bad and what doesn't work. But if there is something that I do enjoy watching, I do want to make sure I review that. So that's how I'm going to go about films from now on. So let's get started. Blue Beetle, without any spoilers, is great. It stands on its own 2 feet. I recommend watching it because it's a good story and because Latino representation isn't the most common field in Hollywood movies. It's a great DC film that unfortunately came out a little too late because if you know, James Gunn is going to reboot everything. So yeah, that sucks. Henry Cavill is also not going to be Superman anymore, so for all you Superman fans, it's a big loss, and I feel your pain. But this movie was good regardless, and who knows? Maybe there might be a sequel, and if there isn't, that is unfortunate. But hopefully, they can still keep this character, just use it again in the new universe that James Gunn is creating. So let's talk about what worked in this film. Without any spoilers, it's actors. They all played their part well. You understand each one of them as you need to, and Jaime's family, and they all work really well. It's a strong bond, and you see the stuff you'd see in a Latino household, the common products and the phrases and music, culture. It's a culture film that is also about a superhero. So that's an awesome thing. I like seeing that, and that diversity is very much welcome, I would say. It's refreshing as well because it's nice to see a diverse cast of people, Latinos, and there should be more films with other ethnic people that are surrounded by them, not just typical Anglo-Saxon people all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's usually what we expect from Hollywood films for the longest time. And yes, there's been diversity, but not so much where there's Latino people again being like the leads and carrying the whole story like that. That's not very common. And it's not to shun white people in any sort of way. It's just to say, like, let other people take the spotlight because they have talent and they need attention as well. And I think that supporting this film is good. It's great. It's incentivizing more films to be made and more Latino people to be taken serious, to play good roles, good characters, and not just the stereotypical bad guy in a film or some other stereotype that gives them a bad image, when the reality is that there's like a lot of different type of Latino people that exist in the world. It's not just stereotypes. Stereotypes are a very narrow minded field of vision, so just keep that in mind. But this film was great because I'm gonna get into spoilers now, by the way. This film was great because the story shows you what it's like to grow up in not an impoverished community, but like in a low income community. And then it's easy to make rich people the bad guys in films most of the time, I will say that. But in this case, it worked for the film because you understand that the woman, I think her name is Cord, I believe she's the antagonist, the main one. She is just basically the head of this corporation that tries to make these robotic super soldiers, similar to Iron Man 2's plot line of like using the Iron Man armor to create a bunch of armored soldiers to win battles and all that. I would say that plotline is pretty much very home to that. Hits home similar to that because I will say that Blue Beetle reminds me a lot of Iron Man and Spider-Man in a way, but still different because he doesn't get bit. Like he just gets pretty much possessed by this freaking beetle that actually it's like Venom. That's what it's like. It's like Venom. It's like Venom and Iron Man, and it's interesting, you know, it's unique. That's the word. It's unique. And it's good. It's good because you know, you get the full range of emotions. There's lighthearted moments, there's tragic moments. There's you know, the whole thing, the whole package. I didn't take the sad parts very well because I just didn't want to be sad, you know. But that doesn't take away from the film, you know. Sometimes you're just gonna deal with things you don't want to, and you might think the movie's bad because of it, but it's not. It's just doing this job, and as I say, if there's certain things that I don't like about a film, it's probably because the film did it in a way that was so good that even I wasn't really trying to deal with it. So, yeah, I had to really process this film for a bit, but it wasn't even like that big of a deal, you know. It's just like, you know, what you're ready to put up with as a film, so everyone's different in that aspect. But overall, I give this movie a passing score with flying colors because it's great. It's a good family film. Maybe not for like children that are too young, but you know, like a teenager, sure. That's a kind of age range that is good for this film. And yeah, it hits home with Latino people, so go support it. Show it some love. It's definitely worth the film watching, and again, the representation goes a long way because it incentivizes movie studios to look at these movies and say, like, these people deserve to get more shots at characters that are well-rounded, that aren't stereotypical, that are gonna play good characters as well. So that's the reason to go watch it, and it's good on its own 2 feet. So yeah, it definitely delivers. It's worth the money, and it's a great film. It's a shame that it came out a little too late. It should have came out when Man of Steel came out, my personal opinion, but it was still well received otherwise. And maybe, you know, it could have made more money, but you know, there's still time for the movie to still grow bigger. And I believe that it made more than Barbie on opening weekend. Could be wrong. I hear a lot of different things, but I think the film is worth watching because it's a good story. You're probably tired of superhero movies, but again, the fact that they did it with a whole cast of Latino people and it came out well, despite everything you're aware of in a superhero film, is still good for what the movie is and what it's trying to do. So that's all I have for today. Please go watch Blue Beetle and show it some support. If you like this video, if you agree with me, give me a like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Late.